And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
Now let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, the gentleman whose new book, Good for a Laugh, is previewed in the issue of Look magazine on the newsstands next Tuesday, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
A lady who managed to cut her own eye today, but who, for my money, looks prettier with a patch on her eye than most girls do without one. Miss Hathaway's shirt of 1952, Arlene Francis.
Thank you, Bennett, dear. And on my left, a gentleman who has just returned from doing an all-night television marathon in Philadelphia in behalf of and helping to raise for cerebral palsy, $188,000. Congratulations, Hal Block.
I also have to give a lot of credit to Dennis James and Jane Pickens and Warren Hull. And on my left is a real great newscaster. My sparring partner, John Daly.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stop It. Once again, tonight, we've got some folks who've come in to visit us in New York. Many of them have unexpected occupations. We hope the panel has trouble with them, for they're here to give the panel a run for the money. They hope to carry home some prizes. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program, but right now, to start things rolling, it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they've got to spot. So will you sign in, please, sir? Howard Lane. Tell me, where are you from, Mr. Lane?
Well, originally,
Yes.
Brooklyn.
You were born in Brooklyn?
Yes.
You're a real Brooklyner, then. Well, good to see you. Happy to have you back in the big town.
Thanks.
Well, now, actually, our friends over there in the panel are not from Brooklyn. Most of them are either from out in the country a bit or here in Manhattan, but they want to know you better. So would you be good enough to walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
Swell a bicep for us?
There?
Want to swell one of those muscles?
Yes.
Yes, I think he'd have interesting biceps. He has a wonderful tan. May I, too?
Want to say something about baseball?
All right, Mr. Lane, suppose you come over here now and sit down next to me, if you will, and on the basis of your handwriting, I got him, and what you said and how you said it and the trip you took down in front of the panel, we give them one free guess at this point as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses, as usual, with Miss Kilgallen.
I would say he was a golf pro.
A golf pro, Mr. Cerf.
I think he manages prize fighters.
Miss Francis.
I think he's an artist.
Mr. Block.
I think he's an eye specialist in a needle factory.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Lane, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel is going to have to dig. Now, what happens here, Mr. Lane, is every time you get a no answer from the panel, we keep a record up here. They lose $5. 10 no's or $50, and you have won the game. We'll give them one more bit of help. Mr. Lane is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir.
Mr. Lane, do you perform services of some kind?
Yes.
Do people come to you for these services?
Yes?
Well, to borrow a favorite question of my distinguished colleague, Mr. Block, would I ever be likely to come to you for these services?
Yes.
If I came to you, Mr. Lane, would I be a happier man as a result? Might I be?
Yes.
You might be happier, yeah.
Might I also be unhappier?
It's a possibility.
Yes, a very good one.
It's a very good one.
50-50. Mr. Lane, do you use any kind of tools or implement in what you do?
Yes.
Are people changed in any way by seeing you? Are there any changes affected in them?
Well, now, before you say they didn't, you mean in their physical appearance?
No, I mean, is there any change as a result of coming in contact with Mr. Lane? Is there any change in possibly their appearance or well-being?
There might be a change in their well-being, don't you
Yes.
think? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, now, when you deal with these people, is there any likelihood of your using an anesthetic or any sort of...
No.
No, he doesn't have to use an anesthetic. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Preston.
Do you work out of doors at all, Mr. Lane?
No, ma'am.
That would mean 2
Where
down
did
and
you
8 to
get
go.
that sunburn?
Isn't it a wonderful sunburn? 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Block.
We've decided that it's a product.
I beg your pardon?
This is a product that he deals in.
I beg your pardon?
A product?
Would you like to answer a question? I
No,
mean,
I'll ask it. Is there a product that you deal in?
that would make it 3 down and 7 to go. Yep. Thank you, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Lane, these people that you deal with, are they largely adults?
Yes.
Are there some people who deal with you rather reluctantly?
Ma'am?
Are there some people who deal with you rather reluctantly?
No.
No, I don't think everybody would be reluctant. If they got there, they were there of their own free will. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, I was going to ask that question. People who come to you come of their own free will.
Yes.
And they might, as I understand it, be either happier or unhappier as a result of coming in contact with you.
Yes.
Mr. Lane, is there an element of chance in anything that you do?
I would think so, wouldn't you?
Yes.
A form of gambling?
Yes.
Yes.
I would think so.
Legal, I take it?
Oh, please, everything we do on this program is legal.
I'm not so sure, John. It is legal gambling. Do a lot of people at one time indulge in whatever form of gambling you are engaged in yourself?
What do you mean by a lot of people, Mr.
Well,
Cerf?
more than 4 or 5, possibly at one time.
Oh, yes.
Is it conducted in some kind of a casino or a place where a lot of different games may be taking place?
Yes.
Do you hold sway over some kind of a table?
Yes.
Oh, what is it? Craps or
Croupier.
roulette?
I thought he was a bookie of the month.
There has been no call for a consultation. Will you go ahead,
It's
Mr. Cerf?
either dice or roulette. Is it either dice or roulette?
Yes.
Well, I'll take a chance. Is roulette?
That's right. Very good. Mr. Lane runs the roulette wheel, and just to be sure that we understand this is legal, where do you run this?
In Brooklyn?
No, where do you... No, we didn't say...
How do you
I
know
said,
so
where
much
are you...
about this?
Mr. Block, may I have the floor for a minute? I said, where are you from? He said he was from Brooklyn. We never told you where he's really from, which is Las Vegas, Nevada. We were deliberately didn't tell you. And where do you run the roulette wheel, sir?
At the most fabulous hotel in the world, the Flamingo in Las Vegas.
So you see, it's all legal, Mr. Cerf. Runs the roulette wheel at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas.
Will knowing you help us if we ever come out there?
Oh, yes.
Not if it's legal.
All right, well, now, Mr. Lane, you did fairly well with the prizes, but the main thing is I hope you had a good time. Bill.
Well, I
It's nice
did.
to have you visit us from this
Sure.
far and be our guest. Nice to see you, sir. All right, now let's see what the final can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, sir? George Green. How are you, Mr. Green? Where are you from, Mr. Green?
LaPorte, Indiana.
LaPorte, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Well, you've got a nice, friendly smile, so I'll send you over to see some friends of mine. Will you walk over in front of the panel, please?
May I see the label in your coat to see whether it says Las Vegas or not? South Bend. He travels.
All right, Mr. Green, suppose you come over here and sit down next to me with that South Bend label. It was smart of us to sew it in before the program, don't you think? And on the basis of your handwriting, what you said, the look that our friends have had at you, we give them at this point one free guess, which we begin with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's an expert plower.
An expert plower, Mr. Cerf.
He looks so prosperous, I bet he owns that Flamingo Hotel.
Miss Bracken.
I think he manages a ball club.
Mr. Block.
I think he's an ear specialist in a cornfield.
Nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Green. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is, but the panel has to work. And Mr. Green, every time you can give them a no answer, you know the rules of the game. They lose $5. We keep the record up here. 10 no's, $50. You have won the game. One more bit of help for the panel. Mr. Green is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
Do you deal in a product?
Yes, sir.
Is it something that's useful?
Very useful.
Is it... Well, let's get the size. Is it something that I might be able to carry in my pocket?
Yes.
I take it that I ordinarily would not carry it.
Yes, you would not ordinarily carry it in your pocket.
Is this something that possibly might be used by women?
Yes.
Would it ever come into close contact with their person?
Yes.
Now we do the bit. Is it ever used above the waist? Yes, John?
Yes.
Is it ever used above the neck?
Yes.
Would it be sort of an intimate thing, something that maybe soft to their touch?
Soft to the touch? Oh, soft to the touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if a girl used this on her date, would the fellow be aware?
If she used this on her date, would it rub off?
I think would her date be well aware of this?
She used this on her date, he'd be aware of it, I think.
Well, is it something she might apply to her lips to make her more kissable?
That'll be 1 down and 9 to go. The answer to that is no. All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Would I be wrong in assuming that this product was not especially designed to beautify the lady?
Yes, it is not especially designed to beautify a lady.
But she does use it above the neck.
Yes.
Is this by any chance edible?
Yes.
Well, then men could eat it as well as women.
Yes.
Well, that's nice. Is this something that might be eaten at mealtime?
Yes.
Is it something that's eaten in conjunction with something else usually?
I would say usually it's in conjunction, yeah.
Yes.
Is it in the vegetable kingdom?
In the vegetable kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
I would say no. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Green, would this more likely be eaten at one meal than another? I mean, is it usually eaten at one particular meal in the day rather than indiscriminately in all 3 meals?
I would think that there is a balance that would point to one meal rather than others, yes.
Yes.
Would this meal possibly be breakfast?
Breakfast? 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Brett.
Well, since you remarked that the date would be aware of it if the girl did eat it, one must assume that it has somewhat of an odor?
Yes.
A wee bit.
Is it in the meat family? Oh,
No. Not in the meat family. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Block.
It just lost me up. I thought it was bologna. But it does have an odor.
Yes.
Do we have a small...
You may have
Fish,
20
get
seconds.
some fish.
A fish?
Must be a fish.
Well, what kind of fish has a real bad odor?
Most of the fish I know.
We may do it just for the halibut.
right, Mr. Block, the 20 seconds is up. Will you
I'm not
proceed?
too much of a fishman. I'm going to pass to Dorothy.
All right, Miss Kilgallen.
I'm going to take a big chance that it isn't a fish product. Is it a dairy product?
Yes.
Is it by any chance a cheese?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it that cheese?
I think we would have to admit it is that cheese.
That cheese.
Limburger cheese.
Limp.
Right. Little cleanup work to be done, Miss Kay.
Oh,
What is Mr. Green's association with that cheese?
he's salaried? You said he was salaried.
Yes.
Does he sell it?
That's right, he sells it. Grand stuff. I was telling Mr. Green when I was a young man in prep school up in the New Hampshire hills, I used to put it on the radiator, and I nearly got kicked out of school.
Oh, no.
But I would say now in my dotage, I should have been kicked out of school. Well, Mr. Green, you've done fairly well with the prizes, but we also hope that you had a lot of fun being with us, because it was nice to have you with us.
Thanks a lot.
Good night, folks. Good to see you. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. As usual, my friends in the panel who would recognize our guest on sight have been provided with blindfolds, and they're all in place, panel?
Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Now, will you join me right over here? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the business of the evening. We'll begin the general questioning right off the bat and go to Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in the field of entertainment?
Yes, you must say that, yes.
I want to hear that voice once more before I lose it. You are a man?
Awful cold. There may be some question.
There isn't really. You go ahead, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you ever appear on the stage?
Yes, for many years.
Do you also appear in motion pictures?
That I do.
Would you say that you're in the movies more than you've been on the stage?
Yes, I would say approximately.
When you appear in the movies, are you a comedian?
Yes, I think so.
He also made it sweet now.
Are you over 40?
This is getting mortifying.
Is no?
No.
1,009 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Do you often play without an accent when you're in a picture?
Yes, I think so.
Are you an American, may I ask?
Yes.
Are you under 30?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss
Narrowing it
Benson.
down.
Now you're between 30 and 40, huh?
This is for you.
You're a comedian. Would you be considered a juvenile, even though you're between 30 and 40? Do you play youngish parts?
I hope so.
Do you dance?
Yes.
Do you even try to sing a little?
I just got it.
I would venture to say that, yes.
Do you, are you playing in a picture that is, are you in a picture that has been playing on Broadway in the last few months?
Yes, I have been.
Were you rather a smash in it?
Naturally.
I don't know. Are you Donald O'Connor?
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Block.
You know, she threw me with that Donald O'Connor. Well, were you also a fair smash on the stage before that?
I would venture to say that I was sensational.
This is Modest Sam. Well, the thing that you did in pictures, did you also do that as a play?
Yes, one of the plays I did.
Switched accent.
Oh, Christopher. He may turn out to be the UN. Are you Ray Bolger?
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, I must say I haven't the faintest idea, but you say that you have sung in the movies.
Yes, I have.
Do you often play in musical pictures?
Yes,
Have you-
50-50.
Have you ever made... Oh, 50-50.
I would think so, yes.
Cut-rate pictures.
Have you recently made a picture on the sidewalks of New York? I don't mean that's the title. I mean, have you made it here in New York?
No, I have not.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Have you ever played in any musical comedies on the New York stage?
Yes, I have.
Would they possibly ever have been composed by Rodgers and Hart?
I would say yes, it was.
Well, if I with an assist to Arlene Francis, who's been whispering in my ear, would one of the shows possibly be The Boys from Syracuse?
No, it would not.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Incidentally, will you quit assisting Bennett?
Rough idea of my assist. Have you ever worked for George Abbott, the producer?
George Abbott, I would venture to say that if it was not for him, I would not be where I am today.
In that case, I will have to say that you were not in The Boys from Syracuse, but you are now playing in the picture We're Not Married. Am I right about that?
We're not married? Yes.
And your name is Eduardo Brackenovich.
We have Miss Hathaway's shirt of 1952 here.
Arlene, if I were you, with your eye like this, it's a good time to be patriotic. You just go down to the blood bank and have it drained. Will you?
Thank you. Would you say good night to the family? It's good to see you. All right, panel. Let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Phyllis. Phyllis Inacy, is that right? How are you? Now, we have very little time, so what I would like you to do, if you will, is just walk quickly in front of the panel and right back again and sit down next to me. All right, Miss Inacy, now right back here and sit down next to me. And on the basis of that quick look, we'll let our friends in the panel have one free guess as to what your line may be. And we'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she's a dressmaker.
A dressmaker, Mr. Cerf.
I think she's Babe Dietrichson's kid sister.
Miss Francis.
I think she's the palmist.
Mr. Block.
I think she makes flying saucer hats.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Miss Inacy, and at the same time we'll tell them what her line is. You've got to work. You all know the rules. We'll keep the score up here. Now, we have less than a minute and a half, so I want you to get right to work on it. Miss Inacy is self-employed. We'll begin the general questioning with Miss Francis.
Miss Inacy, do people come to you for some service of some kind?
Sometimes.
Do you deliver a service of some kind?
Yes.
Do you ever touch the people that you come in contact with?
Yes.
Do they benefit from your treatment or your help, whatever it is?
Yes.
By the way, the contact is not vital or necessary. We all come in contact.
Yes. Well, all right, but the people do benefit.
Yes.
They feel better and they are better off and so forth.
Well, they feel that, something's been
Everything's
done.
going to be ginger peachy.
Yes.
Do you operate indoors?
No,
No, that would be.
yes and no, that would be. So you go ahead, Miss Francis.
Yes and no. Well, would you consider that you are in any form of the entertainment business?
No.
No entertainment. 1 down and 9 to go. Mr. Block, one quick question.
Well, to quote my distinguished colleague, Mr. Cerf, could I ever come to you?
It's most unlikely. Gee, I'm sorry we've run out of time because this is really an interesting one. We've had a lot of fun with it. Miss Inez now gets the full price, and she wins because we run out of time, and by default, she is a steeplejack.
Well, isn't everyone?
Thanks very much for being our guest in What's My Line. It's awfully nice to see you. Sorry we didn't have more time. And now, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a preview look at one of our guests whose line our panel is going to be asked to guess on next week's show. And now, in just a moment, or rather next week at this same time, our panel of experts will be asked, what's my line by this man? Would you know what his occupation is? Could you spot his line? For the answers to these and a great many other interesting questions, be sure to tune in again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time when once again Stopette invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. Until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Bennett.
Have fun in Europe, Dorothy.
Thank you, darling.
Good night, Arlene.
Good night, Hal.
Good night, beautiful. And I understand next week you're going to take this off and we'll find out who won the turkey.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.